Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we are going to be on rant number 7, which covers pavement etiquette. What I don't understand, this didn't happen sort of in the 80s as much. I guess maybe as populations increase and there's more people about, but I can't seem to get my head round why people can't seem to walk properly anymore. And it's not just something I've observed, but there are people that I've been sort of walking home with and walking to work with, and when I've been out and about sort of with friends and family and stuff, and they've kind of observed something similar. And you kind of sort of get the feeling that people just don't, have laziness or stupidity or whatever, don't sort of put any effort into walking. I don't even know if you need to put effort into walking. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but you get people who basically don't understand how their actions affect other pedestrians, or in some cases other road users. I mean, I've kind of observed things like where you get people who kind of walk close to the roadside, and you kind of sort of understand that there's not enough pavement for everyone, and if everyone picked the same bit of pavement to walk down. But let me give an example. It's kind of here. You've got a pavement here. I'll tell you what, let's go down this side quickly. It's a little bit easier. So let's say a car was going up and down here. You wouldn't walk along here, would you? That's kind of a bit silly, that is. Okay, could you imagine, a vehicle, a van or something with extended side mirrors could easily hit you. If there was a puddle somewhere on the road, you could easily get soaked. But I see people literally aimlessly walking down. I mean, look at the guy in front. You can see on your screen there. He's walking in the middle of the pavement. That's kind of okay, There's no one else on the pavement, that's fine. But you don't do what you do there. You don't pick the edge of the pavement and think, no, I could walk here, but you know what I'll do? I'll just kind of aimlessly walk around this kind of area. And, people tend to don't appreciate, like I said, if there's puddles of rain and things like that on the road, sitting in water, you're going to get splashed with stuff like that. But their brain isn't sort of clicked. It's not open, it's not awake. And then when it finally happens, it's, oh my god, why did he do this? Oh my god, you stupid driver this and stupid driver that. But partially it's your fault. Look here, car's turning in and you're walking on the edge there. All it takes is for a large van to turn in and maybe not see you. You hear stories all the time about cyclists being crushed because vans are turning at left signal and they don't see the bike on the inside lane. All that kind of stuff happens. This is kind of its version on the pavement, maybe. All it takes is for someone to cut the pavement, not see you as you go around the corner, clip you, and you're on the floor. As we saw with the car just there that drove by. So that's something that you don't want to do. And there are other things that people do where they kind of get transfixed on their mobiles. See, look, people like that, see that they're all walking in a straight line. That's kind of a bit freaky, actually. If I saw 3 people who didn't know each other all walking in that kind of way, in a straight line, it would kind of be a bit weird. That actually does look very weird. But if I saw that in real life, I'd probably want to walk on the other side of the street. That just looks really, really dodgy. But you get people basically like this guy here. Here we go. Let's see if we can sneak up behind him, and he should be on his phone. Is he on his phone? Is he on his phone? No, he's not. But they'll stand in the middle of the street and basically they'll be on their phone chatting away, not having a clue. Here's a perfect example. Look at this. Look at the number of people that you've got congregating outside this building, taking up the bulk of the pavement. Let's have a look at this guy in orange. Let's see what he does. Alright, he's pretty much going to walk down this side. This is the side we said we really don't want to walk down, because it's not that safe because you're close to the cars. But that's exactly what's happening. He's having to go through there. Okay, the other guy with the white hat, obviously he's having to cut through. It depends on how dense the group is. See, but look, you're pretty much, because of my presence, I've driven that person to the edge of the pavement, and now finally, where there's more space, they can walk a little bit more freely. People do stuff like that, and they're rarely looking up. Most of the people just tend to look down on the floor. They don't have a clue what's in front of them. They cross roads without looking to see if a car's coming or anything, and the onus very much is on the car driver. It's not on the pedestrian. If a pedestrian gets run over by a car because the pedestrian is not looking when they're crossing, it's the car driver's fault. And unless the car driver can prove otherwise, the cops are going to be down on that driver, not on the pedestrian. Okay, It's happened to someone I know where, they were driving down a road and a bunch of kids basically didn't look, ran across the street, went straight over the bonnet, and then got out, got off the sort of road, brushed themselves off, and basically went to the car driver and said, "Why did you run me over?" kind of thing. And it's lucky that there were other witnesses there, residents, etc., and other car users, and they all came out and said, "No, it's the kids that ran across the street without looking." So that kind of stuff happens. My favourite tend to be these kind of sort of drifters. You know, the kind of people. I'll see if I can give you an example. I'll do it with someone who ideally is walking towards me if I can, but what these drifters do basically is they'll start on one side of the pavement, say like this, okay, and then they'll slowly, whichever side of the pavement you're on, they'll slowly start moving across. They will literally start moving. I just need to get this guy out of the way, sorry. Just going to have to take care of this guy as well, thank you very much. And, oh, I think everyone's turned up. Okay, cool. Oh, let me just pay them for their damages. There you go. Couple of quid for you guys. Get yourself some new clothes. So, you walk down the street. As you're walking down the street, the person who's walking towards you is literally walking on the same line as you are. So as you're walking down the middle, they walk down the middle. As you drift to the left to try and avoid them, they'll drift to their right. So they'll be always walking in front of you. And here's someone clearly on their mobile, but I'm not going to do anything to them because, as you can clearly see, he's standing out of the way, not causing an obstruction anywhere, so no problems there. And obviously I'm assuming this is his slightly chubbier, porkier brother here, also on the phone as well, standing out of the way, so no problems there. Okay, but you will get people who will walk towards you and they just will not get out of the way, and ultimately in the end you're the one that has to either just stop walking, or here we go, perfect example here. Okay, so they're walking towards you like this, and then whichever way you go, they'll go that way as well. So if you go to the left or if you go to the right, they will keep on going that way. I call those guys drifters basically. They walk all over the place, and you get these guys which I refer to as hoppers. Hoppers are people who basically wait near the bus stop, but I don't know if you notice, some of the bus stops tend to have they're kind of small bus stops. It's basically just a bit of pavement, and there's basically just a bus stop. It's kind of like this. So you'll get a bit of pavement like that, and you'll get a little post, and it'll just say bus stop on it at the top. But what they'll do is, rather than stand here, which again you probably wouldn't want to do, to be honest, it goes against what I said earlier, too close to the road, someone's going to hit you. But what they do is they do this. Look, they'll find the most narrowest point, which is where the pole is here and where this bit of wall is, and they will stand there, right in the middle. Okay, and that just obstructs everyone. If they just stood here and just waited, they would be out of the way of pedestrians, and they would be away from any vehicles that would be passing by as well. But they don't do that, so they obstruct the pavement by standing in the middle. That I find irritating, and I frequently use the bus stop. When I do see that quite a lot. A special shout out kind of goes to those groups that kind of walk side by side. Yeah, these people will just, I don't know, it's like groups of 3, 4, 5, but they all walk together. We just saw that group of 3 earlier in the video. But that's kind of what they do. They all walk together. If it's a group of 5, group of 10, I mean, I don't understand. Why do you have to sort of walk so close to each other? It's kind of, you take up the whole pavement. There's no space for anyone else. You walk side by side. It's the same thing with couples as well. When they're holding hands, with a couple, obviously, it's going to be 2 people involved there. But with a group, it's a totally different setup. You're going to end up getting loads and loads of people. Groups of 5, groups of 6, 10. How much of the pavement do you really need? And it just gets so annoying that you have to literally move to one side to let this group go, or if that's not the case, then you kind of have to muscle your way through the group, and kind of the same thing. It's sort of very much the case with buggy users as well. Buggy users tend to sort of just, I've had 2 kids. These 2 kids are not 2 kids, they're basically gold bars, and I'm escorting them to wherever it is that I'm going, and I understand the sort of safety of the child and etc., but again, just because you've got a buggy, it doesn't give you the green light to take as much of the pavement up as you want and do whatever you want. Okay, and some of these some of those people that are pushing buggies around, they've got this annoying habit of, again, same thing with the bus stop, they'll find the most narrowest bit, even if it's an empty pavement, they'll pick the middle bit of the pavement and they'll park their buggy up as they rummage through a bag looking for some diapers or a bottle of water or whatever it is that they're looking for. They're always looking for something in the buggy. And what about people with mobility problems? What about people with like wheelchairs, walking sticks? They would benefit from having a wide berth. They need some space. And buggy users, these couples that walk hand in hand, and these groups that seem to want to sort of walk hand in hand, I guess given half a chance, they're making it difficult, because when you get maybe an elderly person with a walking stick and you see 4, 5, 20-year-old beefed up blokes walking towards you, that elderly person might think, well, maybe it's easier for me just not to, push it, as it were. I'll just sort of stand to one side and let them pass. And that gives that group a kind of like an ego boost. We can just go around and do this whenever we want. We can just, take the pavement's ours. We own it. You don't. Everyone gets a fair whack at the pavement. Sorry, just a quick... nope, that hasn't worked. Let's just try this guy very quickly. Cool. Let's see if he's up for a fight. Nope, he isn't. Oh, here we go. That's it. So that's sorted that out. So that's the kind of thing you get. And it is kind of annoying. One thing I would say with buggy users though, and this is something I do quite often. I do it with buggy users. I do it with groups of people. Okay, and in exceptional circumstances I will do it with just one pedestrian or one person on the road. But if you see a buggy in front of you, basically just walk behind it. Okay, it's fantastic because everyone moves out of the way for the buggy, which means you never have to think. There's never anyone walking towards you because the buggy effectively clears a path. Same thing with large groups. If you see a couple holding hands, walk behind them. I'm not saying stalk them, okay? I'm just saying walk behind them, like about 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot behind, something like that. Depending on the density of how much sort of footfall there is, that's the kind of thing you want to be doing. Yeah, and when you walk behind them, you'll notice that, look, if I walk behind this guy, here's a perfect example. So if I walk behind this guy, wherever this person is going, as long as he's going in the same direction that I'm going, I never have to worry about, moving out of the way, going around someone. That kind of stuff never happens, because this person in front is basically my broom. They're sweeping the road for me and making it nice and empty and clear in terms of me. I don't have to think when I walk. See, here's the situation here. All I do is say, he did the thinking there. He went to the left and went around the guy on the yellow. All I have to do is just follow him. That's all. It's literally that simple. You can do the same thing with one person, you can do it with couples, and you can do it with buggies. Give it a go. It's fantastic, it really is. It makes walking down the pavement so much less stressful. This guy's getting in my way, he needs to move out of the way. Okay, he saw me walking towards him, and he moved in front of me. That's not good, okay? So, that's what we need to do. And what I would say is mass gatherings. Another thing I've noticed is mass gatherings outside places of worship, community buildings. There's no controls. There are literally no controls to manage the flow of people. The pavement becomes suffocating. It's like human bumper cars or a pinball machine. It really is. It's so annoying that the only way to survive something like that is to basically just yield, give up the pavement and say, look, the gathering of 30, 40, 50 people that are walking towards me, I'm basically just not going to bother. Let's check out some of these muscular guys here. Let's see what they're made of. Let's see what he's made of. Obviously not much. One punch, shame. And maybe he needs some as well. No? Come on. There we go. Get yourself some proper weights. Cool. So that's kind of the problem I have with that, and it gets really annoying. Like I say, what I've done is I've tailgated one pedestrian that's in front of me. If I've had to, I've even sort of just quickly sprinted up behind this person. Obviously it looks a bit creepy and a bit weird when you're aiming for one person on the pavement, but you're not running up to them in a I'm after you kind of way. What you're trying to do is you're basically trying to reduce the distance between you and that person so that you can tailgate them. It's like with cars, one car behind another car. All you're doing is just reducing the distance between you and the car, the person in front of you. You know, that's all it is. Here we go. Look, here he goes. He's putting his foot down. These guys are fantastic. Yeah, because as long as you can match their speed, yeah, you don't have to worry. See, they'll just create a nice clear path. Look, let's just see what happens. Look here. See, that guy moved out the way. Yeah, all I have to do is just follow this guy, and it's nice and easy for me. I don't have to worry about anything. Now just thank him for his troubles. Thank you very much. Thank you for demonstrating that, or helping me to demonstrate it. So another thing people do, and I've noticed this kind of, I don't know, it's weird. It's kind of like a thing it kind of just randomly happens, and then it doesn't happen, and then it happens. Kind of. It's people that will stand at the corner of a street. Yeah, so they will stand somewhere around here, for example, and it won't look like, you know, they're doing anything as such. They will literally just stand here. There's nothing that they're doing as such. They're just standing there. It's kind of like prostitutes, basically. Yeah? Stop doing it, because, you know, one day someone's going to try and pick you up. Yeah? And if you have a crossing, if there is a crossing here, for example, a zebra crossing, don't stand near the zebra crossing, because what you're telling car users is it's your intention to cross the road. Yeah, don't do that. Move away from the zebra crossing, move away from the lights, because when you are near the edge of the road like this to a person who's driving a car, you're telling them it's your intention to cross the road. Now, you could just be standing here, but the fact you're standing there, that's the message you're giving out. Okay? And when you then turn away, if someone's flashed to let you go to cross the road and you then turn away, that's going to irritate the driver. Okay? So I don't know what your experiences are with your sort of pedestrian etiquette, as it were. You know, what kind of habits do you see with pedestrians? What kind of things do you see that are annoying? And I don't like the way that guy looked at me as well. He keeps looking at me in a really weird kind of way. One more just in case, and again, there we go. So yeah, if you've got any interesting stories or anything, put them in the comments below. I would love to hear how you deal with, you know, your sort of pavement stories, as it were. You know, what kind of things happen to you, what are your experiences. I know we get the run-of-the-mill idiots on the bicycles that kind of whoosh past and stuff like that, but this is kind of more, I want to focus more on individuals that are sort of going up and down the pavement, and sort of how are they sort of behaving. And, you know, like this guy here, I'm walking down the pavement here, he's clearly walking in front of me, he's not yielding, he's actually, look, he's moved. Look at that. Oh my god, did you see that? That's exactly what happens in real life. Now, either you're going to play as this guy here, where you walk in a straight line, or you're going to be that guy in blue that's had to move out of the way. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what your experiences are when you've been walking on the pavement, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you very much.